Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, this beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together. And the content that I'm about to show you is an excerpt of a gun rights advocate going into the halls of Congress in a committee around infringements on our Second Amendment rights and laying waste and dropping facts. This guy is sharp. We're talking like Amy Swearer level of sharp. And I'm here for it, and you guys love every second of it. Link in the description box below for all of our sources. We always bring the receipts. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you want to spread that freedom from border to border and coast to coast. Thank you in advance for that consideration, guys. Lots of you are jumping on, despite YouTube making mistakes and adjustments to the subscription count. And thank you for that. Now, before we get into this, I've got the video riled up, ready to rock. Make sure you guys do not miss the shirt special that we have going on with 10% discount for all our limited time designs. They will be going away at the end of November. This is the only time they've been jailbroken. This is the only time they're going to be jailbroken. You get 10% off using the code 45-47. There's a link in the description box below, guys. And if you get an order that's over $50, you get free shipping. It's like freedom on savings, on shipping, on amazing, and you're ready for Christmas, ready to rock for that person that you can't quite figure out what to get them. We got shirts like freedom only lasts if you can defend it. This is a great one in those three colors. We've got all sorts of colors with, I'm going to pick the other one, one of my favorites. Nobody likes a Glock block shirt, men and women's. Like, this is the stuff, guys. And finally, one of my other favorites, the Liberty Tree versus the Tree of Tyranny. All the options. Everything limited. Link in the description box below. And thank you guys for jumping on that. Again, closes end of November. So let's get into this. This is something that Gun Owners of America posted. Guys, you're going to love every second of this because this guy just has 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes of pure facts. All right, let's get it.
Good morning, Chairman Durbin and senators of the committee. I'm Ryan Kleckner. I'm an attorney specializing in federal firearms law and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Compliance. I'm here today as a firearms expert to talk about the legal and technical qualities and the differences between bump stocks and conversion devices. And I'd like to address them separately because they are two very different things. Now, a machine gun under the National Firearms Act is a firearm that will expel more than one bullet for a single operation of the trigger. Bump stocks are not machine guns. They are pieces of plastic that could be put onto some firearms in place of their standard buttstock that allows someone to bump fire the firearm. Now, the term bump fire, that's not illegal. Matter of fact, I can bump fire a firearm without a bump stock. Bump firing is nothing more than allowing a firearm to move rearward under its recoil and then be pulled back into a stationary trigger finger.
That is an excellent description of what they are. And here's the thing. Gun rights guys aren't going to die on the hill of, I want this one independent point. It's the theory behind it. You're not following the law. The law says multiple rounds per one squeeze of the trigger, not anytime the gun fire rate exceeds X amount. That's where the gun controllers have set up camp on. Well, if it fires fast, then it's a machine gun. Nope. Incorrect. Not supported by any definition in any law. That's the point. That's what he's hitting here. You can do it without this piece of plastic. That's what he's hitting on. It's the underlying point. It's not the individual piece. Even though the individual piece brought us a Supreme Court victory in the Cargill decision over the ATF. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep going.
Now, bump stocks do make it easier for some people to bump fire, but that's all they are. The fundamental operation of the firearm has not been changed. The trigger still needs to be manipulated every single time a bullet comes out of the firearm, just like it was designed and intended. Now, putting this into perspective of how big of a problem bump stocks by themselves are, the FBI's most recent crime stats from last year say that all rifles were used in about 15,000 incidences of violent crime.
Preach.
All categories of violent crime by the FBI. Blunt objects, such as hammers, were used 78,000 times. More than 5 times more than all rifles, not just rifles which could have a bump stock, or even the smaller category of rifles that actually did have a bump stock on them.
Perfect execution of that point. We've been screaming it. We've been talking about it for years now. Hammers, 5 times more incidents with hammers than with ARs, assault rifles, bump stocks, rifles in general. Their entire straw man argument goes away completely when you just use logic delivered in a very concise and professional manner. That's what we try to do on this channel. Sometimes I get a little froggy with my humor, but this is what we're talking about right here. This is how you execute this. Anyway, let's continue.
The only evidence I can find of a bump stock being used is the horrible, horrific 2017 Las Vegas shooting. And what that mass murderer did was horrific. I don't think a bump stock being on some of his firearms makes a difference enough to try to redefine the law about what these items are. Now, these conversion devices, or Glock switches, or auto sears, they are absolutely machine guns. Okay? Not only the National Firearms Act defined the firearm, but later laws, like the Gun Control Act, says that any parts that can be used to convert a firearm into a machine gun are also a firearm. That's what these things are.
All right, so now this is the part where it's going to deviate a little bit for some of you guys. Some of you guys would disagree that a piece of plastic that makes a gun do something is an actual machine gun. I'm not articulating that point. I know, and what's important what he's trying to say is follow the NFA. This part was not perfectly executed on a legal footing. He nailed it. He did say exactly what the law says. They consider it an actual machine gun because it can convert a gun into a machine gun. I would seriously question if a piece of metal that's etched on is a machine gun when it's completely separate from a gun, or if a Glock switch is an actual machine gun, or is the actual gun the machine gun. I'm going to deviate a little bit on that one because I don't believe a piece of plastic that's completely separate should be classified as a machine gun, or, in the case of Matt Hoover, a little etched drawing on a piece of metal. But that's neither here nor there in this conversation. That's what he's talking about. I don't think that part was great, but let's continue.
They're already heavily regulated. They're already completely illegal. The ATF is already going out of the way to enforce this rise that we have with them being used. But the vast majority of them that I know of are being imported right now into this country, and they're not being stopped as they're being imported in this country.
That's true.
I think the way that we solve this problem is not to make an item more illegal, because its status of being a significantly illegal item does nothing apparently to stop these criminals from using them. I mean, that's the definition of a criminal, right? Someone who doesn't obey the law. I don't think we can make them more illegal. And if we did, I don't think that's going to stop their use. I think what's going to stop their use is if we actually prosecute the criminals that are using these illegal items. If we keep these dangerous people off the streets, and we do maybe the best we can to stop the influx of these items across our border.
All right, so now that part, he's talking and referencing to the idea that no one's enforcing laws that already exist. Why are we making them more illegal? Because criminal's going to criminal. They're already violating the law now. You make them more illegal. What, they're going to go like double like illegal? No, that's not the point. The point is we're not enforcing laws on the books that are already unconstitutionally or at least questionable to be unconstitutional. So why are we even talking about more laws when the ones that exist do not work? That's the point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.